What do you prefer? What's your favourite side? Are we in shot? Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Is it in the middle? Okay. Yeah.
So she's your cameraman too?
Tom's not here this time. Stuck in Canada.
That's amazing.
He's been helping me with it's a new camera. It's pretty. I don't know how to use it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it's Nick Atkin, South China Morning Post here with the boss man Chatri Sityodtong. We're just at the One Fight Night 6 presser in Bangkok. Just finished. You just done a big Thai media scrum as well. How are you doing, Chatri?
I'm doing good. All things considered, right? I mean, I had a restful holiday. I think it was my first vacation in 12, 13 years. But obviously the news of Victoria's passing and speaking to Angela, it's been rough.
It has been rough, yeah, the last few days. I'm not going to lie, for me as well. I think everyone connected to One Championship and MMA has seen a lot of outpouring of emotion, shock as well. It's just been a really tough time, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've been heartbroken, literally the day after she passed, I spoke with Angela and obviously communicated with everyone, all the members of, Ken and Jules and Christian. And then I just, was going back and, remembering different memories of first meeting Victoria, watching her train when she was 11 years old. I went onto YouTube and watched a few of her old interviews. And then my team told me they had interviewed her just 2 weeks prior to her passing on the fight, and I just I've just never had anyone that I've been in this situation. Yeah, so young.
Yeah, I don't want to ask you too many questions about it. Everyone's sad, but just. What did Victoria mean to you and to One Championship and the family as well?
So, I knew Victoria quite well, as a person, and watching her blossom from 11-year-old, just a little kid, clearly a prodigy, had all the skills and talent. But what always struck me about her was how she's a wise, I would say an old soul, even when she was 11 years old. She always thought about life and the meaning and purpose, and she always said she wanted to use her life to help the world, and just the sweetest. And when I mean sweetest, the sweetest, most kind, most selfless soul. I mean, really, she's she was an angel. She was the angel of the Lee family. And she's it's just I couldn't sleep for many days and think about nonstop all day and messaging and talking to them and the family. It's just been, and what a special love they had as a family, right? It was. It's not your typical family, there's real love and unity and real, just shocking and sad.
Yeah, and I'm sure One Championship's going to give the Lee's family all the support they need in this horrible time. Yes. I mean, what is there any way you want to honor Victoria's memory? I was thinking with some people, with Tom, maybe doing a scholarship for some young athletes or a tournament or something. I don't know. Is there anything?
Yes, we do have plans. I mean, the first step is we're going to have a moment of silence at the show, and then we have a tribute video for Victoria. But I want to do something definitely. Actually, Angela and I spoke yesterday about this, about how do we celebrate her life, but honor her legacy in such a way that it is forever. So, I mean, we are. It's so early still, right? But Angela and I did talk about honoring Victoria in a way that allows her legacy to continue. Yeah.
Yeah, and Angela put the statement out, and it seems she's taking on she's showing real strength, that I can't imagine. And she is sort of helping to try and help lead the family through. It really shows the kind of person she is as well. We all knew that from her in the ring, in the circle.
Yeah, I mean, Angela has to be the strong one, is the strong one for her parents, but also, Ava, her daughter, she has to, and then obviously for her siblings, being the oldest child. But nevertheless, it doesn't matter. It's still so devastating that the strongest of the strong. I don't know. That's why I said, let us send our love and our prayers and our strength to the Lee family. And I'm on standby 24/7. They know it, for them in any way possible. But right now, again, it's just the grieving process. I also did a little bit of research on the grieving process. There's a whole 6-step process and stuff, and so everyone has to go through that process, right?
Yeah, I mean, I went through something like my brother.
Yes, I know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I know. So it must have gotten a lot of flashbacks for you personally, because I mean,
yeah,
I remember when your brother passed last year, right? Yeah,
it was like November 2021. Yeah. Just over a year ago. But I mean, you said the process, and I was saying that for months you're so angry, and
right.
I just hope that they don't rush back to training, fight. That's what I was saying. Yeah. You need time to actually stop. I returned to work too soon, I think, and I was so angry at the world, and I think it's important they take time, and I know you give them all the time they want.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, no, of course. If this happened to any one of my friends or any one of our athletes, I mean, for me, the only thing I can do is support, be there as a friend. From I always want to do more, but at the same time, you also have to understand that it's the right way is probably also to not to allow them to heal as a family, or grieve as a family rather than have outsiders come in and they have to worry about getting distraction and the other stuff. So I mean, again, I think we all. I mean, I think all of us were enamored by Victoria. Not just her fighting style and her skills, but her personality, her character, her right, who she was as a person. So soft-spoken, so genuine, so authentic, and so kind.
I loved interviewing her, and I was really looking forward to seeing her in person here, and doing an interview in person as well. It's very sad. So
it's just tragic, and her life was brief, but the outpouring of love you've seen around the world just shows you what her character and the lives she's touched. It's just magnified all over the world.
Yeah. Like you said, it's bittersweet. We do have an event here as well. Has it been hard to switch into business mode again so soon after this news broke out?
Yeah, definitely. Luckily, I have a phenomenal team, and they've been taking care of everything. And I just been very fortunate. I have a phenomenal team. So the things I would normally take care of, they took care of. And I've definitely been in a deep funk. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess you said you kind of right after it happened, or a day, you've had to hold this information, and has that been really tough?
I think I remember the day, but I think Angela called me on December 26th or 27th. Of course, but I mean, it wasn't my news or anyone's news to, it was. It's a private matter, right? So we have to respect and give them the space and the courtesy and the I think everyone knows, right? Yeah.
Well, we have to talk a little bit about this event, though. It is a great card. one Fight Night 6. But let's first, actually, you made some big announcements as well. I just want to ask you quickly about those. I think the one everyone who's liking it on my Twitter that I put out was this open weight Muay Thai Grand Prix. A few people asking me, is this like limited to one fighters, or can anyone from the world come in? Are there any parameters like that?
It's only for one fighters, but we're always constantly signing athletes all over the world, and there's several athletes who haven't announced. But I want to hear from fans too, because it'll kick off in March, but this will obviously be the biggest Grand Prix in the history of Muay Thai by a large margin. But also, it's very fascinating because of the open weight aspect. I mean, can you imagine?
Well, yeah, you're going to get like Roman quickly over Rodtang.
You never know. Let's see what happens, right? But you're going to see some really wacky stuff. But with the greatest strikers on the planet, literally the greatest strikers on the planet, right? So, open weight is open weight.
And it will conclude by the end of this year.
Yes.
So 4 fights in 1 year. Do you think that'll be possible? It might stretch over.
I think it's possible. That's why it starts in March. If you just do the math, it's 8 fights in March, 4 fights in June, 2 fights in September, and then 1 fight in December. Okay. But you never know. These Grand Prix things. It hasn't always gone smoothly, right? But let's see.
And another announcement, Anissa Mexon's going to fight Stamp for an interim kickboxing title after they fight this weekend in mixed rules. Why did you want to make that fight? Are the champions not ready? Janet and Alicia going to fight still?
Yeah, no. Janet and Alicia are fighting, I think, in March, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. Actually March. The March card, they're on it. But we didn't realize how much genuine tension and bad blood, and there's real animosity between the two, and the social media buzz we saw all over the world. I think people want to see this fight. So rather than only a super fight, let's see them in a real striking war.
Yeah, and some other big announcements you made recently, or that one have made. Anatoly Malikin going to fight Arjan Bula finally. Are you expecting Bula to make it there?
That's a big if, right? I don't know. I mean, I've never seen this ever. And we've never stripped anyone in the 11 years. And we try not to as an organization, as a matter of courtesy to the world champion. But if, unless, again, you're caught cheating or you're caught doing something bad, or that, or you've done something unethical, that's an easy strip. But someone who's not willing to fight, that's a very easy strip as well. But how long? What is the right amount of time you give a champion who keeps on making excuses after excuses about fighting, right? So, I don't know. Some people, when they win the belt, they want to say they were, when all is said and done, they were a champion for 3 years or 4 years, but because you don't see the asterisk, which is you didn't fight at all, but you held the belt for 3 years, right? Which is what you saw with Elias and Hachi, right? I mean, he didn't fight, but because he lost. My opinion, the judges got it wrong last time. I thought you saw visibly that Anahachi broke during the fight. He just quit fighting. He just started running, and Superlek, should have been the rightful winner. And we tried to make that rematch happen many, many times. And there's this excuse, that excuse, and finally they signed, and we're like, oh, he's really going to make it. And everyone, at least our team, we knew he's scared, so we just said he's going to pull out. And then lo and behold, he pulls out, saying he can't make weight, which I heard from his gym mates it's BS. So.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah. But he's moving up in weight on purpose to avoid the fight. But that's what his gym, his teammates that have told us. Yeah. So.
Fair enough.
But I don't know if that's true, but that's the gossip, in the circuit.
All right. I'm getting the go home cue from Natsumi here. I think one more question then. Perhaps Superbon is main eventing this show against Chingizalazov, but he told me he wants to do a full, proper MMA fight after this one, because you'll have no challengers left, not a mixed rules. What do you say to that, and who would you match him up with? So
he wants to fight Tawanchai for the Muay Thai world title fight, or he wants to do mixed rules, or he wants to do MMA. I don't think people understand how complex and how much time it takes to get good on the ground. Just because you're a striker does not mean, and vice versa, just because you're good at jiu-jitsu doesn't mean you're going to be a good striker or that it transfers. So I'm curious. I've never spoken to Super Bun about his ground game or any of that stuff, but it's not something that you can just be like, oh, you know, I'm a Muay Thai world champion, or I'm a kickboxing world champion, and let me just hop in and do an MMA. And vice versa. You know, you can't just have, you know, an MMA champion say, okay, I want to go to a single discipline and think I can compete with the very best. It just doesn't happen that way. So there's a lot of investment you got to do. And you could see with Stamp has invested, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years on the ground game. And now she's really coming into her own where she's a legit pound for pound threat for any female in the world, right? With her striking, her world-class striking, and now her legit ground skills. So, but it took a lot of time. And I heard she trains every day in all the disciplines.
Okay. Well, that does it then. One Fight Night 6, Bangkok, January 14th. Chatri, just quickly, what can people expect from the show? Saturday morning here, Friday night in the US on Prime Video.
This card is stacked. The best of the best strikers, the best of the best grapplers, the best of the best all-round mixed martial artists. I mean, this is just going to be fireworks. And when I look at these cards, I mean, we have such an incredible matchmaking team. I think every fight on this card is going to end without any judges.
Yeah, looking forward to it. All right, Chatri, hopefully see you after the event for another chat.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, see you, mate.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.